I got to tell you, I'm happy to be here. I want to thank Blake also for inviting me to be here and represent Toyota. And thanks for the introduction, Jerry. I got to tell you guys, I'm absolutely thrilled to be back in the southern part of this great country we live in. I was born in Birmingham and grew up in Jacksonville, but for the last 26 years with Toyota, I've lived above the Mason-Dixon line, and I can't tell you how nice it is to come home. And so I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled about the future that the industry has, that Toyota has, and the state of Mississippi has. So today, it's obviously a new year. I mean, we just started a new fiscal year, and you know, we're already a quarter of our way through the calendar year, but it's obviously a time to reflect and be re-energized. We saw quite a bit of growth in the economy and the automotive industry last year, and we're braced and ready for more of that in the year that we're in right now. The economy's looking up. We've got a laser focus on our customers in Blue Springs and focus on giving back to our communities. And we also have 9 new or updated products which will be launched in the coming year, including a brand new Corolla in August of this year. I say that kind of quietly because we need to sell about 200,000 of the old ones before that, but you know, we're very optimistic and glad to be here. Let's see if I can work this right. Okay, Toyota's basic philosophy, I think much like Nissan's and all the so-called transplants, is to design, build, and engineer vehicles where you sell them. You see on the map here that you know, we've got 8 vehicle manufacturing plants that are highlighted in yellow. We've got our R&D facilities highlighted in brown, and the green circles are our component manufacturers. There's 5 of those, and then we've got 3 unit plants that build transmissions and engines for all our vehicles. So altogether, there's you see the little Toyota signal on the western coast. That's our sales headquarters, and the red circle with a star is where our manufacturing headquarters is in Erlanger, Kentucky. Currently, we're building 12 vehicles in North America. Many of our most popular models, obviously, the one you see in the top right is our all-new Avalon that was just launched in the last 3 or 4 months out of Georgetown, Kentucky. But we currently in Georgetown, we're building the Camry, the Avalon, and the Venza. At our plant in Princeton, Indiana, we're building the Sienna, the Sequoia, and the Highlander. And in Texas, we build our trucks, the Tacoma and the Tundra. And in Canada, we're building the Lexus RX 350, the Corolla, the Matrix, and the RAV4. And then, of course, everyone knows we're kind of a Nissan wannabe in the state. We're only building Corolla right now, but as I said, the future looks bright for the industry and for Toyota and for the state, I believe. Give you a little more overview on North America. Our total investment is over $27 billion. We currently employ directly about 39,000 workers and about 375,000 indirect through our suppliers, our dealers, and that whole explosion that Dan showed you on his supply chain. From a production standpoint, this year we're going to build just over 2 million vehicles, and our local purchasing is over $26 billion a year. And you know, we're extremely proud of that. And one thing I need to plug here, because I know oftentimes our competitors in the Midwest will say that all the profits always go back to Japan. Well, I got to tell you, in the last 10 years, 25% of the profits for global Toyota have been reinvested right here in the United States. And we're extremely proud of that. That's something we don't hear out of most of our media, but I wanted to make sure I made that point today. From a momentum standpoint, much like Nissan, I think the entire industry had an upswing last year, but our overall sales were up 27%. The Camry was up over 30%. It's the highest volume vehicle in the world, and our highest volume sedan in the world. I'm sorry, we're still trailing slightly the F-150. Our hybrid vehicles, our Prius model went plural last year. We launched 4 additional models in that series. Sales for that model were up 73%, and our trucks were up 18%. And I got to tell you, the trucks being up is good news for everybody, because that means the housing market's coming back a little bit, and it means the economy's coming back a little bit, and it means that our sales will continue to grow. Now, if we talk a little bit about Toyota in Mississippi, again, we're in the tiny town of Blue Springs, just outside of Tupelo. I think Jerry mentioned we built our 100,000th car in the fourth quarter of last year. We just a couple of weeks ago built our 175,000th vehicle. So things are moving very, very quickly. We're right in the middle of a model change preparation activity. And again, as Dan said, I can't imagine what he was describing, working on 5 all-new models, because I'll tell you, just working on one will keep you going around the clock too, while you're still building mass production vehicles. But we have our current capacity is 150,000, although we'll build 165 this year. We've got 2,000 jobs there. It represents an investment by Toyota alone of $800 million. We're building about 660 vehicles per day right now on both shifts. And I told somebody a few moments ago, one of our biggest problems is we're working too much. It's a drastic contrast of what we saw in 09 and 10, when obviously the industry was in a tremendous downturn. But it's something we're always conscious of. We've got customers wanting our vehicles, but at the same time, we've got every one of our team members that we need to be concerned about work-life balance. So we're very careful about what we ask them to do, and we don't just go every possible day. As far as the impact on Mississippi, again, like Dan said, you can see where we're located, and all the green represents Toyota's kind of central supply chain, and obviously the plants that I pointed out to you earlier are much more centrally located. But one of the reasons we came to Mississippi, much like Nissan, was the workforce. It was really the primary reason that brought us here. But you can see that within a 250-mile radius, we have over 50 suppliers, and 11 of those are in the state of Mississippi. We're continuously trying to pull more down, and I think as we work to better integrate with some of our competitors, with the production that's next door in Alabama, as well as north of us in Tennessee, we'll be able to continue to do that, and that'll be excellent news for the state of Mississippi also. We've also got 25 direct and indirect minority business enterprises, and that number is growing every year. This is just a representation of the local hiring when we started in 2011 in Mississippi. We've got 90% of our team members have come from the state of Mississippi. About 80% of them reside in the 11 counties within a 60-mile radius. And almost half of the members came from the Pontotoc, Union, and Lee County alliance that was so critical in bringing Toyota to the state. That was a unique process that where those 3 counties came together, and obviously members of those 3 communities are well represented at our plant. So really, what does all this mean for Toyota in Mississippi? I would say 2 words: quality and pride. But rather than me talk about it, I'm going to show you about a 3-minute video that'll give you a little bit of a sense of what we see in Blue Springs every day.
I was born in Biloxi, Mississippi. My mother is from Collins, Mississippi. My father's from Grenada, Mississippi. So Mississippi, runs deep in my family. My name is Derek Sims. I'm the Assistant Manager for Body Operations Quality. I was here in '08 when the plant, first started. Got to really know the people in the community. The people knew nothing about automotive, but they came in with that mindset, with that willingness, that hunger, to learn the Toyota way of doing things.
I know last time we were looking at some of the issues in this area. We're looking pretty good. I know we had a low spot there.
I keep a close eye on it right here.
And they've just embraced it. They've actually taught us a few things. Today, we're gonna make you a Corolla. You see a nice, pretty lake, and it's very still, it's very calm. When you see that, you're basically looking at a Corolla. I see a reflection of all the people that work here and work hard. That means I can see you. That means our customers can see you. They can see how good it is, see how bright it is. Pride. That's one thing we have here. There's a whole lot of pride. The key thing is the Toyota way. Kaizen is basically continuous improvement. So you find the problem, you fix the problem, but you always continuously improve. That we go to that much detail, to make sure that our customer is getting the best Corolla possible. It feels good. I have seen 70,000 Corollas made here in the Mississippi plant. It's the best feeling to know that you're building something made in America. When you think of a Corolla, you think of very dependable. They last forever. We're all one team. In order to be the best at what we do, we have to work together. We have to embrace the Toyota way, and we have to live it, not just talk about it. Today, we're gonna make you a Corolla.
Well, I'll tell you, Derek Sims is one of our bright young assistant managers at the plant, but what he just conveyed to you represents the feeling of, I would say, virtually all of our team members there in Blue Springs. So overall, we're doing very good in Blue Springs, but there are always things that we can do better. I mean, we're maturing and growing, and that's what it takes to evolve into the quality company that Toyota knew it was going to get when it invested here. So what can we do better? There's some challenges. I'm going to talk about one specifically, but when Jerry introduced me, he mentioned I'd been 22 years on the sales side. One of our biggest challenges, I'm going to put my sales hat on for about 30 seconds. One of our biggest challenges, and it's probably one for Nissan as well, our cars last too long, and you guys keep them too long. And we're all here talking about economic development. One thing you could always do, or each of you could do, to really help the state of Mississippi is take your significant other out this weekend and buy a new Toyota or Nissan, and that'll help all of us. But more specifically regarding challenges for manufacturing, one of the biggest ones that we have is both a challenge but also a tremendous opportunity is developing a skilled labor force. And when I talk about a skilled technician in our maintenance area, we have quite a bit of, I would say, more single-focused skilled technicians. They may know electrical or mechanical or welding or fluid power or programming, but really what manufacturing needs is a combination of all those. And the little image you see on the screen represents that really out of 100% of the applicants that we have, we only can hire about 5% of them. And this isn't a problem unique to Toyota. It's frankly unique to all industry. And again, it's an opportunity for the state of Mississippi to really figure out how we reinvest in our population and get them interested in pursuing this type of education. I'm going to talk specifically now about what Toyota's trying to do, and we're trying to reach out and partner with other manufacturers to solve this problem and turn it into a big opportunity for Mississippi as we move forward. So what we started in the fourth quarter of last year was what's called the Advanced Manufacturing Technician Program. And it's really kind of a joint venture, if you will, between Toyota in Mississippi and between our local community college. Our pilot class is out of Itawamba Community College, but there are 3 other community colleges in the northeast Mississippi area also partnering with us. And we're getting a lot of support from our North American Production Support Center out of Georgetown, Kentucky as well. But it's kind of a co-ownership program, and I'm going to explain a little bit how it works. First off, it's called the AMT program, and it really talks about shaping the person and not the technology. That's the reason why we call it Advanced Manufacturing Technician. It really is focused on developing that member so that he can help all manufacturing really become more prosperous in the great state of Mississippi. Now, how do you get there? It's really a 2-year associate program. We're targeting, in our pilot class, we took members that were already in the program and just signed them up as part of our work program as well. We've currently got 10 members in this class. They go to school 2 days a week, and they come to our plant and they work 3 days a week. They're starting out at an excellent wage for a skilled trainee at about $16 an hour, and currently, as I mentioned, we have 10. We'll have 25 when the first official class starts in the fall. And graduates not guaranteed a job at Toyota, but I can tell you, at the rate this thing will grow, most of them will have a very good shot. If they demonstrate they really want to work at Toyota, they'll have an opportunity to work at Toyota. But many of them may decide to go on to an engineering school and complete a 4-year degree as well. I realize this slide is a little bit hard to read, and I apologize for that, but I did want to tell you a little bit about the curriculum. It's a 5-semester course. If you look down the left side of that chart, you might be able to see that, the very top sliver that runs horizontally is a general education, much like you'd get in any associate level program. We're really teaching members about communication and critical thinking skills. Then we've got technical core areas that include electricity and fluid power, motor mechanics, controls and PLC, welding and machining, and finally some system troubleshooting robots. The third level down there is manufacturing experience. When they come to our plant in this work program, they initially go to the production line and see how members are actually working on the job there. And then they move into our maintenance introductory training, and they finish their final 3 more in the maintenance technical building area. And some of the core exercises that are taught in both the school and the work program are the safety culture. We teach them about 5S and workplace organization. We teach them about the Toyota production system and lean manufacturing. And critical is the problem-solving capability, the very logical process that manufacturers utilize to really get to the root cause of a problem. And then finally, they finish up with some reliability-centered maintenance activity. Really, how do we prevent and do a better job of PN to avoid problems occurring altogether? In this process, the excellent thing is they get a good opportunity to see what it's like to work in a factory, and we get a good opportunity to see how much they want to work, really. We get to see their attendance, how they like to come to work, their communication skills, their problem-solving skills, how well they work together as a team, and their interpersonal relationships, and it's really a win-win for everybody. And as I mentioned before, currently, each one of these classes, we've got them targeted right now for 25 members, mainly because that's what we can handle at our plant in northeast Mississippi. But Toyota will be going out to other manufacturers in the northeastern part of the state very soon, and we're going to try and get them to help sign up. For this to really be effective, they've got to have some place to go to do the work part of the program. So we can't handle much more than about 25 at this point, but as we go to Cooper Tire and some of the other manufacturers in the area, we know they have the same needs. So that's a practical way of how we're trying to raise awareness for the problem, but also work with the state and work with the other manufacturers in the state to turn this problem that we have today into a tremendous opportunity. As I mentioned before, there's currently about 600,000 open skilled maintenance positions in our country today, and estimates are in the next 10 years there's going to be over 1 million. So if Mississippi can create their unfair share, we're going to have a good opportunity to continue to grow and draw businesses into the area and become even more successful than we are today.